And we are here with the first episode of 1v1 Me Bro, and it is my honor to welcome IHOLDSHIFT as the inaugural guest on the show, and I am excited to be joined by him. Shift, how are you doing today?
I'm nervous. Dude, you hit me up to do this piece of content, and I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I don't really care what it is. Let's just do content together. You're like, oh, I'm going to test you in all this COD knowledge. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, literally.
Like an idiot.
So it's going to get interesting, obviously. For everyone out there, this is their first time checking out what 1v1 Me Bro is. And so this is the game show, talk show, the game of all games, the talk show of all talk shows. And basically, we're going to be having some nice talks, some really hot, spicy debates today, and learning about Shift and what he does. And of course, some really interesting talks about the broadcasting, about ROSTERMANIA. And we're doing a really interesting draft today, drafting the God Squad in Black Ops Cold War. So it should get pretty interesting. So how 1v1 Me Bro works, since this is the first episode, we got to explain it all here today. It's going to be basically 3 segments to the show, a little discussion, and interluded by guessing COD sounds or moments. Off the rip, it's pretty straightforward. We're trying to get to know our guest here, IHOLDSHIFT, and we're going through some icebreaker questions that we'll basically be asking every single episode. So off the rip, the first question is, since this is 1v1 Me Bro, the first question is, it could be in COD or another esport or another sport or anything else. Is there a 1v1 in the history of the world that stands out to you and is your favorite 1v1?
Holy. That's a tough question.
Yes.
I feel like I should choose something COD, but something not COD is coming to my mind.
Okay, that's totally fine.
So this is like, I don't know. This is the first thing that comes to my mind, and it's not really one that has like a lot of weight. It's like, oh, I remember that happening. It's something like, it was a casting moment that I had.
Oh, I love it.
It was a pistol round in Valorant, 100 Thieves, Hiko, 1v2.
Oh,
pistols,
baby.
just pistols. It's him versus the world. He's got to get the defuse and spike. Gets the first, snaps immediately, right clicks the classic, and one taps the second. It was like the most insane 1v2 that I've seen in that game. It was absolutely lights out. It was second half on bind, first round in.
Oh my word!
Who were they playing? I forget who they were playing.
Yeah, when was this?
This was stage 2 challengers 1. I want to say.
Okay. How far ago? How long ago?
About maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I posted it on my TikTok. Wait, I can look it up.
Oh, let's go, baby. Shout out to TikTok. Yeah. Let's go.
Dude, you know what? My TikTok is it's like 2 videos big, and they didn't do well. So,
hey, I mean, that happens, you know.
I didn't get famous overnight. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Well, that's awesome. I love it. Yeah, it was cool, pretty open-ended question. Because I mean, like, at the end of the day, there's so many. It's tough to put somebody on the spot and just recall immediately like one COD 1v1. But
yeah, there's a couple of like scump moments that I think 100%. You could go back to, but for some reason that's the one that came to my mind, so I'm gonna stick with that one.
For sure, that's fair.
It's boring.
All right. Well, okay. Question number 2 is pretty straightforward as well. This is kind of like the classic question. It's like the dinner party type question. If you had to sit at a table with 3 people alive currently, who would you choose?
3 people alive currently.
Yeah. That you just want to talk to, get to know, like maybe people who inspire you.
Okay. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, so 1. Good. So
for sure. There's so many, like, I just want to like get into his mind because he's played so many different types of roles. Yeah. Like the pictures of the one from him coming up, I forget the name of the movie, but like people were like, it doesn't even look like Leonardo DiCaprio. It's like, did he just? Yeah.
The picture from him like at the table or whatever.
Yeah, it's like something from like the Dust Bowl era or something. Like it just looks super antiquated. Yeah. I loved the look of it.
Dude.
Leo's incredible. He's nuts.
He's insane.
Yeah.
It's literally insane.
That would have to be mine. Number 1. Put myself on the left wing here. Barack Obama. I've actually had a chance to see him speak when he was still a junior senator because he's from Illinois. Cool. I'm from Illinois. He actually spoke at my high school when he was initially running for office. So it was like literally his first year that he was even up for election as a senator.
That's dope.
Yeah. I mean, my dad is a huge fan of photography, and a couple of years ago, he got a picture book, essentially, which sounds really, like 5-year-old, but no, it was like a photo journal of the photographer that was following him along for his entire political career. And he put it together and had like a bunch of stories alongside the pictures. It was really, really cool.
That's dope.
So that would be another person I would want to put up.
Love
and
it.
then let me see. I got to think of like a really good like last person. I'm going to go Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just think like he seems like such a down-to-earth guy. There was a documentary series that they had kind of following the Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
Like way back when. This was like mid to late 90s. And there was this scene where the Foo Fighters, like they practiced in Dave Grohl's garage. Like he had like a studio built in his garage. And when they were doing a recording of one of the albums, they were doing it in his garage. And there was this moment where like they're mid-recording and his kids who are like 2 years old come in and say, "Dad, we want ice cream." And they stop the recording and Dave Grohl looks around and goes, "You guys want to go get ice cream?" Like,
yeah, that's awesome.
Like,
I love
I'm
it.
sure he's got so many cool stories. I had to get a musician in there. I think Dave Grohl's probably the one that I would go with.
Yeah, that's fair. I think to answer my own question, I'll probably answer this question a lot if this series hopefully continues for a while.
You better start having a list of people.
I know. I better have a massive list of people. I guess off the rip, I would say one, Tom Brady, easy. That's
okay.
Easy to get. It's Tom Brady, and then my favorite rapper, Andy Mineo, and then Joe Rogan.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's good. I like that. It's a good list.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you know, Joe Rogan, of course. If you ever want to come on 1v1 me, bro. I mean, obviously, Joe Rogan's...
He's got to be a fan.
100%. All right, last question is, what movie have you watched the most?
Oh, like of all time?
Yeah, the movie that you have watched the single most amount of times.
This is so embarrassing.
That's why I love this question.
I already know the answer because it was a movie that when I was in college, me and my roommates, whenever it came on, we were like, we have to watch it. It was just like we set it up one day and it was on like a few days later. It's like, we got to watch it again. The movie was played literally in the 4 years that I was at school. It probably played a handful of times a month.
Okay.
It's The Replacements. Like, with Keanu Reeves. You ever seen The Replacements?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh, dude. It's actually a really good movie. Gene Hackman plays. So the idea is the NFL goes on strike and they have to find a bunch of replacement players. And so Keanu Reeves plays the quarterback. Gene Hackman's the coach.
How have I not seen this?
Dude, I don't know. I've seen it more times than I would even beyond.
That's like right up my alley.
Counting. It's really good. It's funny. It's like a really good feel-good movie, kind of, sort of. It's just comedy action. It's good.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, literally why that question spawned for me was because the movie I've seen the most in my life, which, I mean, besides maybe Star Wars, like most of the Star Wars movies, which maybe is my number one, the movie that I have probably seen the most is undoubtedly Paul Blart Mall Cop. And undoubtedly I've seen that the most, dude. It's like, so I think like in like 7th grade or whatever, like my friends and I, or 6th grade, it was somewhere in there. My friends and I went to see it on like one of our friends' birthdays, and it became like our inside joke where we just go watch Mall Cop. So
so it's kind of like me and my roommates with The Replacements.
Yeah,
anytime it was on, it was like we text you like, "Hey, The Replacements is on. Come on down."
Literally, I think that's just kind of like what it goes for a lot of people, though. So I'll be interested to see what other people have to say. So
yeah, it's gonna be funny.
With that said, we're heading into our first Name That segment. So I am very much looking forward to this. And again, so the first set categories here, there's one COD history moment, and then there will be one sound effect from COD history. So you know, where are you at with where's your like initial confidence overall here?
Low. It is low. I was telling you before we recorded, like I played Call of Duty 4 Pro Mod on mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
And then that was it until Black Ops 4. Like I watched a little bit of World War II, but like I couldn't tell you any specific moment that happened outside of like when I was doing some research for like an off-season event that we did in World War II.
Right.
But even that was just like, I got to get through it. Like the only thing I remember from that was like TJ Halley, London Docks, like 52 kills. Like that's the 100%. Only moment that I remember.
Okay, so you're going to be relying on like highlights that have popped up over the past few years at points on the timeline and things along those lines.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see.
Because I haven't even done like, we were talking about how you do a lot of reaction videos and stuff during the off season.
Yeah.
I haven't watched any like top 10 moments of like Black Ops 2. Like I've never seen it.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, never.
All right, so this will be interesting then. This will be very interesting. So
I'm nervous.
again, how this plays out for everybody out there, this is, I mean, I guess for you as well. Each clip is split up into 2 parts. The first part's going to be a little bit more difficult to guess it, obviously. And so if you guess it with the first one, you get 100 points if you guess it correctly within the first part of the clip. If you get it after the first part and the second part of the clip, you can get 50 points. And then the key here is that you can actually gamble all of your points on your guess if you're that confident in your guess. So like, let's say you have 500 points and you're like, I know for a fact that this is the answer. Bang, you just doubled your points. So you can really start racking up the points here if you are uber confident. So
it's like what Jeopardy James did when he was on Jeopardy, dude.
100%. The double Jeopardy is just going crazy. All in. So, all right. With that said, this is the first clip that we got, and I will be very interested to see if you know this one. Again, this is the first COD history clip, and we'll go from there. So best of luck. Here we go.
Nogman playing for his camo here. Nice. So he will have camo in round 11. Oh.
There's part 1.
Oh, God.
I can play it again. Does anything ring a bell here? I'll play it again for you.
The burst.
Nogman playing for his camo here. Nice. So he will have camo in round 11. Oh.
Okay, so the camo, I know it's a jetpack game.
Yep. You got that part down. Did you catch the name in there?
The camo. It's the camo.
A player's name was in there.
Oh, shit. I didn't hear the player name.
Nogman playing for his
camo. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. I have a couple in my mind. It sounds like Revan, by the way. Is that Bobble casting? It sounds
That's
like
a good
Bobble.
question.
Nogman playing for his camo here. Nice. So he will have camo in round
Hard
11.
to say. Hard to say. I'm
it
not
kind of
exactly
sounds
sure.
like Bobble, which gives me a little bit of a time frame, in a way. Oh, God. There's no way I'm guessing off the first part of the clip, just so you know that much.
Okay, all right.
I've got no idea.
All right, if you don't have a guess, then we'll head on to part 2.
Okay.
And we'll go for the 50 points here. So
okay.
all right.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
No,
Wait.
No, they're lining up. He has to kill. Oh, no!
There you go. Someone gets murdered in part 2.
I can tell. So, all right. Oh, God. Round 11, someone gets snapped on. That had to have been at least a 1v2.
Okay.
Because it sounds like he gets a couple off with the burst.
Yes.
And in my mind, is that a burst pistol?
It's the M8.
I was gonna guess Black Ops 3, but I have no idea what the moment is.
1v4 in Black Ops 3 against Envy. He pops camo, gets the 4-piece, absolutely insane in round 10 to end the game. So it was crazy. And I highly recommend going to watch it, dude. It was a good clip.
I'm gonna write it down right now to go back and watch that.
All right, so it might be a slow start for you here, but again, I know you're gonna make the comeback happen here in the later clips for sure. I have confidence. All right.
Was that the same game though that Pac-Man got turned on?
It was. That was same map even. Same map.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. All right. So here's the next part here.
Give me 1 point for that. Give you a single point.
You're on the board.
1 point.
1 point, baby. You're in. All right. Here we go. Part 2. This is clip 2, and this is a sound effect from COD history. You might be in trouble on this one. I'll be honest. If you haven't played this game, it's gonna be a little bit tough. It's a score streak, which is the hint. It's a score streak.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
From COD history.
That kind of sounds like the first lightning strike.
It's somewhat similar, but that's not the correct answer. So
that's my
we'll head on to part 2, see if you can get any more hints for maybe some kills that the score streak's getting.
Okay.
We're getting some bullets there.
Is it a VTOL?
It is, again, close to the VTOL, but the answer is the Harrier strike from Modern Warfare 2. Yep. Hey, it's all good, man. It's all good. It happens to the best of us. Down 0-2 early, but no one's out of this yet. Because, Dan, you can go in double points later in this competition and make it happen. So
the viewers are like, "Get me off this. I'm not watching it anymore. This guy's an idiot."
It's all good. No problems here. So now we head into our first topic of the day, which is just kind of talking about your background in Call of Duty and in broadcasting and talks. I think you might know this one.
I got this one. I feel confident.
All right, I like it. So basically, first question is, how'd you get into esports, and then what led into getting you into Call of Duty casting a little bit later, like you mentioned in Black Ops 4?
Yeah. So I kind of fell into esports. That was at no point even in the realm of my scope of like what I wanted to do professionally.
Okay.
I went to school to become an educator. I was going to be a teacher, and spent 3 years looking for jobs after I graduated because I was focused in social studies. And
Dude,
in that time period, no one wanted to hire social studies teachers. If you didn't teach math or science, you were just not a commodity whatsoever to anybody.
Yeah.
So after a couple of years of like working restaurant jobs and substitute teaching, I kind of had a couple of opportunities come my way. I had a buddy who was a TO for a couple of different free-to-play games, but it was only like kind of like a casual thing. Like I didn't really, invest much into it until Overwatch got announced. I wanted to try to get involved a little bit more seriously with casting, specifically for that title. But by the time that I got access to the game, tournaments had already been happening for months, and people had already been casting for months. Like,
jeez, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, ZP, like Mr. X, like all those guys got their chance to cast the game from the get-go, and by the time that I had gotten the game, there just were not opportunities to like get involved. Right. So I took the next best thing, which was essentially a game very similar, almost identical in ways, called Paladins, high-res game, free-to-play game. Started casting that kind of as a way to, while I was waiting for Overwatch, to kind of learn how to cast like a team-based hero shooter, and then ended up falling in love with the game. Casted that for 3 years. I did a bunch of online stuff for them. It was kind of separate from the actual core of the community that was being like holding like its pro league, but it was other stuff that was going on in the community that was helping run. And then I got brought in to do all of their major events, which was once a season, so like a spring, summer, fall, and then winter is World Championships. So I started to look at like what I wanted to actually do to try to change it to go full time. And Overwatch was one that I started to go into, and then we were talking about this before we started recording. The rumor mill was that Black Ops 4 was going to have a mouse and keyboard PC competitive scene.
Yeah, literally.
So I was like, I might as well get in on that because it's never happened before. There's never been a mouse and keyboard scene for the Call of Duty outside of Call of Duty 4 Pro mod way back in the day. So I got involved. I did a couple of small little community things with like mouse and keyboard tournaments like early in the fall, and then I started reaching out to a bunch of OLTs and TOs and stuff, and that's when I got hooked with college COD. And that was the first time that I really started getting some actual gigs. I got the game on PlayStation, learned it, and
that's so crazy.
Yeah, it was wild. It was absolutely wild.
So did you originally, was like your interest in playing like PC Pro Mod originally, like did that kind of spur your idea to like get Black Ops 4? Like, was that kind of like, oh, I liked Pro Mod back in the day on PC?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not from a playing standpoint. I'm too old. But from a casting standpoint, absolutely it was. And it's just something I've always enjoyed. Even after Call of Duty 4 was like way and gone. Before we got to Modern Warfare 2 and all of those titles and stuff like that, like the Call of Duty 4 Pro Mod community was still active for years. I think it actually still is. So like there's times that I'd come back, from college or whatever, and I would go on and play more.
How'd you get connected with like the AM scene and like the broadcasting, like with AMs and getting connected with people in like BO4?
I tried to be everywhere when it came to casting stuff. I saw a very, very big opportunity knowing that people like Bryson Tunn were the only major faces associated with the amateur Call of Duty scene, and they were from the UK. Right. So I remember the first 2K series before Vegas. I remember reaching out to Tunn because he was doing crazy, like a mock cast. I think he may have done one with Miles actually. Regardless of that, he did like a mock commentary cast.
Yeah, to like practice.
And I remember messaging him on Twitter and be like, "Hey, dude, like I know you have no idea who I am, but like I really." I was like, I would love to cast with you. I think he probably blew me off. I don't know if that's true or not, but I would have to imagine he probably did. But I reached out to everybody that was running anything Call of Duty competitive. I reached out to. That's
awesome.
Yeah, and so that, I think, because in the OLTs, you don't typically get, like, your top AMs, but you get, like, those that are, like, bridging the gap between kind of the casual, top 128 finisher up until, like, the top 32 finishers. So, like, I started to build a little bit of a reputation just by being decent at casting. Dang. And then I think that synonymously with my YouTube channel doing recap videos. And I remember during Vegas and Fort Worth and London, the Charlie and Delta streams were just clean feeds. Nobody was casting over them.
Yeah, that was that was the worst.
I would go out on Twitter and put a poll and be like, out of these matches that were on Charlie and Delta, which would you be more interested in going back and seeing again with commentary? And I would just do solo casts over entire series.
Dude, that's such a good idea. Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't actually realize that's so crazy because I literally had no clue that you didn't actually start really getting heavily involved in COD till BO4.
Yeah.
Because I remember by the middle of BO4, I felt like I was seeing your name everywhere.
That was the goal. That literally. At that point, you know, because when I was setting up like my yearly goals, which I always do before title kind of comes and goes, I was looking, I was like, okay, like if I'm going to go full time in a game, like I have to go full time. Like I can't just try to find an opportunity here or there to do it a couple of times. Like it has to be an everyday, at least 8 hour a day pursuit. So that was the whole goal. YouTube content, live streaming stuff, doing recasts of old matches, whatever I could possibly get my hands on. That's what I wanted to make sure I was doing. So that way my name did come up everywhere and it paid off. I mean, I got asked to come to do Anaheim that year, which was kind of ridiculous to think about, like a guy who's only been casting that that series for like 5 months.
Oh wait, were you working the AM desk at Anaheim?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my word, that's so crazy.
Yeah,
because I was reffing in the open bracket.
Yeah,
that's so crazy. I didn't even realize that. That's awesome. Dang, well that's so cool, dude. I had no idea that was kind of like the come up there. So I'd imagine it probably like is hopefully pretty cool for a lot of people out there as well. All right, so I mean, as a whole, like heading from BO4 like into Modern Warfare, like we're into Modern Warfare and then now to Cold War, like.
Right.
How have you felt like you've progressed, like as a caster and like that? And I mean, you going to like just joining BO4 to where you are now from like a COD knowledge it's insane. I mean, that really shows like your time put into the game really is paying off.
I appreciate that. Through Black Ops 4, I feel like I hit all my goals. You know, my goal was it was actually wild enough. Like when I saw the initial drop of the schedule, I had circled Anaheim. I was like, this is the event that I want to be at.
That event was sick.
It was a really fun event.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to be a consideration for champs. I never expected to be there. So I think that I hit my goals successfully. Modern Warfare, my whole goal was to be a mainstay in Challengers as it was announced, and also do Challengers finals. Met those goals. So now we're kind of here in Cold War. It's an interesting spot to be in because the bridge between where I am now to where anyone who's casting wants to go, which is the CDL, is not something that's like you check the boxes so then you're automatically brought in. Like there's a lot of things that would have to happen for that to be a case. Like 100%. The demand for more casters would have to be there in the first place. Like there's no need right now for more than 3 duos. So it's kind of a weird spot as far as, you know, like how do I evaluate how things are going for this year, but being a part of Challengers again is an absolute blessing. The off season was really, really good to me too. Doing a lot of stuff with the TST guys and doing a lot of the opening events with some of the CDL teams.
Yeah, those are sick,
dude. So much fun. So I'm kind of hoping that the opportunities just kind of keep going, and I just can continue to be more of a consideration in the future for whatever comes up, whether it's Warzone or multiplayer or anything. So hopefully it.
So you're kind of like you're the commentator bag blowing in the wind, just from event to the next event.
Yeah, dude, literally from American Beauty, just hanging out in the trees. Just floating.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I love it. No, that's awesome. So I guess we can kind of transition then into our next aspect of Name That, which again, this might be a little this first one might be a little bit tough. Second one, I think you can get this one. So we'll see.
Okay.
All right, so we'll see. Now, heading into the second one here. Again, this is a gun from COD history.
Oh boy.
I'll give you bonus points if you guess the game. You know, just knowing where you're at. I'll give you bonus points if you guess the game. All so here we go. Gun part 1 here.
Be good to me.
Does that ring any bells? I'll run it back for you.
One more time.
Yep. There's also some like subtleties hidden in the background there, I think.
Oh God.
What's going through your head when you're hearing it?
It sounds really similar to like the fire rate and kind of puffiness of like the BAR from World War II, but that is not the hit marker sounds from World War II. It sounds futuristic in nature. I'm gonna go IW something. I don't know. I have no idea what the weapon is.
So close. It was AW, and
this
is the gun. This is the legendary gun that Nadeshot pulled out at Champs. The HBR.
The HBR.
was the gun here. Pulled out at champs by none other than Nadeshot.
See, at least I knew it was the HBR when you said the legendary gun pulled by Nadeshot. I know that. But yeah, there's...
Right? Hey, it's all good. So, all right. So the number 2 one here is again part 1, part 2.
Okay.
This is a trailer for a video game. This is
any video game.
It could be any video game, which is going to be a little bit tough. But I think you can get this one. Here we go, part 1. Let's get it.
To make him my weapon.
To make it my weapon.
What?
All right, we'll go one more time.
To make him my weapon.
Is there anything coming to mind here?
This sounds very COD-like. Like, it sounds very Call of Duty-like.
It's not a Call of Duty. I'll give you that.
Then I'm screwed.
Yeah. No, I think you can get it here in the second half. I think you can get it here in the second half. All right, let's go.
Everything is at my command. And I'm not afraid.
Is this Watch Dogs?
It's Watch Dogs.
Let's go!
Let's go, baby. Everything is at my command. Making it my weapon, which is the infrastructure of Chicago, which is we were about to get there in the clip, but you nailed it even before that.
Let's go, baby.
Oh my word. And IHOLDSHIFT is back on the board now with 51 points.
1 point. Give me the extra point.
Let's go, baby. He's got that 51. Bang. Things you absolutely love to see. With 2 more to go, he can still wager points and start racking in these points here. And I think
true.
I think he still has some chances here to make some moves. So we'll see.
I'm gonna have to pull from Jeopardy James. He's from my same town that I grew up in, by the way. He went to my rival high school. Jeopardy James went to the rival high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Obviously,
that's actually wild.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So I got to pull out some of that Naperville action. Ready for it.
100%. Okay. So now our topic 2 here is kind of it's straightforward. It's the roster changes that have been going on in Call of Duty the past week or so. It's been nuts. Absolutely insane. Obviously, Zapdius and Zed are out for Alex and Afro. What? Decimate is out for Seattle. And the rumor is Classic could be headed there. Zapdius might be headed to Paris. And Accuracy was benched for Majormaniak. So there is a lot going on in COD this week. So what's your gut reaction? Let's start with London. Zapdius and Zed out. Alex and Afro in. Where are you out this?
So I was looking over either the CDL Intel post or the London's post specifically when they announced that Zapdius was going. And I'm not saying these words, but this tweet stood out to me.
Okay.
It was, what is this management doing, and have they ever managed anything in their lives?
Dude.
So,
literally.
London, I have no clue why you do this. First of all, I am happy to see Alex back. We never knew what it was that he left for. He was dark on Twitter outside of like the SpongeBob meme where he's just kind of looking down at the diner with the kind of steam coming off. Yeah. So that was the last time we heard anything from Alex. So I hope everything is okay, first and foremost.
Definitely.
Outside of that, he's not good at this game.
No.
So that's a problem. Afro has not made a Challengers Elite since I think the first stage.
That's what's scary.
That's like, I think Afro is a very incredible player, but him and Gizmo together have not done anything this title since before the Elite started.
Right.
So
and like
that's troubling.
You know, is there reasons for that outside of Afro's control? I mean, obviously last year in Modern Warfare, he was seen as, if not the best,
probably
European player.
Probably the best player in Europe last year.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, why would that have not translated as effectively this year then?
I don't know. Yeah, so I just had to look it back up again. He qualified for stage 1. They finished 7th.
Okay.
That was when they were House Tarth.
Not ideal.
No, not at all. First for Modern Warfare Champs. First in Cup number 1. It was his first 5 cups went 1st, 3rd, 6th, 1st, 8th. Yeah. And then since then it's been a top 32, top 12, top 16, top 6. Like,
man,
that is not good enough for me to sit there and say automatically pulling you into a CDL team. I think Afro's an incredible talent. Is there something to be said about maybe the players he was playing with? Maybe, but like Sib has also been on equally as many different rosters, but he's been incredible every single time he's played with the Dune team.
Yeah, and they continue to, after they stick together for a week or two, they're starting to rise and play really, really well.
Yes. So I don't get this from London. I mean, you've got 6 wins on the year. You've barely won any prize pool cash
Two
at all.
of them came this weekend. They came at the major.
Absolutely. I don't get it at all. I don't get it. Although I will say this much, I don't think Zed was working. I don't think he's been working since they initially brought him on.
Not to like the potential that at least they would hope for, like to be a contender for top 4, like they were last year at champs.
But like Alex in, Zap out, like what? Zap looked great. Zap looked great.
Yeah. It's tough. I agree with you. I'm not exactly sure. You know, is it an upside play, or was it just that they're cheapskates? They don't want to pay Zappy. It's a full-time contract. Supposedly he was on a
2-week trial.
2 weekers. Yeah, two weekers.
I wouldn't be surprised by that.
So maybe it's just a straight up money thing. But like, I mean, at this point, like, what are the odds that they even make champs at this point? They need to outperform, you know, Florida, LAG,
Minnesota,
LA Thieves. Like those teams are the ones that are competing for the 8th spot. That puts them in such a tough spot.
Yeah.
Like
I don't see it happening.
Yeah, that's what makes it really tough for me. I mean, is there more? Like, is it just the unknown of Afro is the potential upside that they're seeing Hydra doing what he's doing? You're seeing Insight doing what he's doing. You're just hoping that, you know, the next European guy that was supposed to be great is Afro.
Last year, sure. If this was, you know, if this is 2020, I say I'm all for this. But this feels like London going off of the whole mantra that our organization is British. We want there to be UK-based players on our roster and build our identity. Man. I don't think that's the right play. I mean, it just flat out. And beyond that, there are so many other players in Europe that I think could fit that role better than what we've seen so far this year from Afro. The only difference is the fact that Afro's been on the bench all year, so you don't have to worry about the financial finagling of dropping somebody and picking somebody else up. Now, all of a sudden, it feels like Paul is the outsider, which is weird because he should be the central focus of this team, and I think everyone's minds.
Yeah.
And you just took away the one solid duo that he's got more chemistry with than almost anything else.
And like we've seen continually improve as well the last few weeks.
Absolutely.
Zap probably had his 2 best series when they won at the major.
Agreed. And the thing about it is, like, you go back to the initial Wester, like, Zap and Venom together were something special because Venom could run around the map and go slay. And Zap would be able to kind of pick up on where Venom is playing and then just run around and use the objective where his teammates don't have to worry about it so much. Like, he was more of the objective-focused SMG for that Wester team. He was doing that same role with London and doing it really well. Like, I don't know.
That's what's mind-blowing. I agree.
Me.
I think it has to be a money decision. There's like, because the logic behind it from a COD reasoning, it would make no sense.
Right.
It would make no sense from a straight up COD reason why they would do this. Okay, so then let's head on to the ideas of Seattle/Paris. The rumors that Zapdius might head straight from London to the other European team, straight to Paris to potentially replace Classic, and then Classic heads to Seattle to replace Decimate?
Huh.
That's the rumors.
I hadn't heard that before. It's an interesting idea, but again, none of that sounds like positive moves. Like those feel like 1-for-1 lateral moves. Yeah, like you're gonna like, first of all, like, I think Decimate is great. Like, since he was on like G2 during the PLQ for Black Ops 4 and G2 didn't qualify, I was like, dude, Decimate is unbelievable. And I've carried that same sentiment. But he's not been undeniable. That's the difference. And Seattle needs an SMG that's undeniable. They don't need someone that can just help a little bit of the extra slang. You need someone who's undeniable. And Classic is not that, for my money.
No, I agree.
I just, again, it feels like one of those things that it's like, you know, why not bring John back into the mix? Like, I
mean, literally, John makes a lot more sense, I think. A lot more sense. I agree. I don't really understand the move either if that ends up being the case, where, again, it's just rumored by CDL until at this point, nothing's confirmed there.
Yeah, but he's like, he doesn't miss, so.
Right, and that's the thing. And Decimate supposedly just kind of like benched himself. It wasn't like we're benching you for sure. It was more like hey, I'm just going to take my chances.
I didn't even realize. I was looking back. I was like, okay, I know for a fact, obviously, John played with Gunless during the LGBO4.
Yep.
I forgot that he played with Octane for as long as he did in World War II, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. That pickup, I would look at and say, bet. Like, okay, Seattle.
Right. Especially with how Easter's been playing the past month now. Like,
and John specifically as a part
John
of it.
has been nuts.
Unreal, dude. He's so good.
Yeah, and so when you're seeing him in form again, how is he not on a team? I mean, it makes no sense. Florida and Seattle should be begging John to join their teams.
Yeah. Florida needs to pick up Vivid. What needs to happen. They didn't make a move for Vivid.
I know. That would make so much sense.
Yeah.
I tweeted it literally the moment Vivid got benched. I tweeted Vivid to Florida.
Needs to happen.
Come on. It needs to happen. I agree. The real quick thoughts on Rokkr and Accuracy and Majormaniak as well.
I don't understand that either.
Yeah.
I think that this, Visions and I talked about this Minnesota Rokkr team when they were initially announced. It's like they're either going to be incredible or they're going to be awful. They were awful. Pick up Standy, they're incredible all of a sudden. Now things are starting to kind of fade back away. Again, Accuracy for Majormaniak, or vice versa on that. Majormaniak for Accuracy is not an improvement. Now, I will say this much. I had the distinct pleasure of being able to watch Majormaniak in his first Challengers event as a Challengers player.
Right.
And we sat there and was like, all right, magnifying glass. Majormaniak was playing way too slow for Minnesota. He was playing really realistically way too slow for Atlanta last year. That speed and tempo has to pick up, and he provided that. He did start to play a little bit more aggressive. He was getting in the mix. We saw him even flop over to an SMG when he found it off the ground, and then use that from trying to get aggressive with the rest of the subs he was playing with. So that's encouraging to see the play style change happen. But when it comes to you're now doing an main AR for main AR swap up. Majormaniak is going to go back to needing to default to playing slow again, and he plays too slow, in my opinion, for this title in a 4v4.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, they're hoping that, obviously, I don't know exactly what their thought process would be, that they can pull like a Kenny being a main AR type situation and just completely change a team with just role switches. I mean, again, the normal play styles of Accuracy and Majormaniak aren't that different. I guess the argument would be, can Majormaniak win those few extra one-on-one gunfights that are the difference for a team to win a hill or lose a hill, and they have been getting worse in S&D. So the question is, maybe they really feel like they need a new opinion in Search and Destroy, which if that's the case, then fair play. I don't know. I don't mind it, but I don't see this being really like some turn for a championship that they really need. What would you have thought of Gravity join this team?
Gravity should have been in the CDL 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Any team that's out there that's even questioning their ARs could find an improvement in Gravity. That's just the way it goes.
I think it would make a lot of sense. I don't think it's out of the question. Like, let's say they just keep getting bodied during stage 4, and they're like, it's now or never. Roster lock's coming for stage 5 or whatever. We need to sign someone to at least give us another option. Right. Maybe you just sign Gravity and hope that it works. Or you try to pull the LA Thieves, you move Priesthood to like a main AR, you move, attached to an AR, and you bring in a new SMG.
Like a pentagram or something like that?
Something like that. You just really, or someone who Standy trusts from the AMP scene. Yeah. And then you just see what happens. I don't know. Minnesota's in a tough spot right now, too. They need this to work. So
they need it to work because, like we mentioned, they're not safe from being out of the top 8.
No.
So it has to work. Whatever it is, it has to work.
Yeah, it gets interesting. So, alrighty. We got our final 2 guesses here, and then we go into our draft to end out the episode here. So, pretty straightforward. We've got one COD personality, and then we have one moment from a COD champs or a grand final. So, a COD grand final. So,
and you have to guess the grand final. Is that what it is?
You need to, ideally, you're guessing the game, and then ideally the event as well. So, I think you still got this in the bag. So
okay,
all right,
and I can double down some things too. I like this. Okay.
Yes, COD personality first. We'll see how you do. Let's check it out for part 1.
We took some time off, just chilled out, regained from the way the last time ended, and a little bit of scrims, but not too much.
Do you know who that is?
Not even an idea.
That's fine. We can go to a longer side here. Again, you can still potentially bet your points if you know for a fact who it is. We'll go on to the second part here and check it out.
SMB rounds.
We just got in the groove, and on the last St. Marie, we just made some small mistakes, and it spiraled out of control really quickly, but we didn't let that happen on the last map.
All right, well, there you go. Thanks so much for the interview.
Part of me wants this. I have a guess, but I'm not confident enough to double down. My guess would be Envoy.
Oh, it's not Envoy. I picked a player who is themed for this episode because he just hit the bench, and that is Accuracy.
Oh my God, it doesn't sound like Accuracy at all.
This was from World War II, so it was from a few years ago. I was trying to throw you off with maybe it did with the older clip of Accuracy. So there you go.
I'm bad at this.
Real quick, so we got one left here. Pretty straightforward again from either a COD Champs or a Grand Finals, and you have to give the game and then hopefully the moment or the teams that are playing in it, ideally. We'll see what happens. So, all right, here we go.
He gets the party side up there in the rec room. He gets one, but not able to get the second. Karma on the right. He will drop to Kid.
It's Black Ops 4. Optic
It is
Gaming.
Black Ops 4.
It's Optic playing somebody. But I mean, oh God, that's not enough for me to like know exactly.
Right, we'll give it one more go. We'll give it one more go.
He gets the party side up there in the rec room. He gets one, but not able to get the second. Karma on the right. He will drop to Kismet. Dashy, though, is up next.
It's Enigma 6 versus Optic.
There you go. Okay.
Oh, when would they have played?
Either a COD Champs or a Grand Finals.
Oh, God, this is going to test me now. They must have played in Champs of BO4 because Optic finished 3rd and Enigma 6 finished 4th.
This is COD Champs BO4, so you're right on the way. Now you just have to identify the little bit of the moment or what happened in the clip, and you'll get the points.
Oh, okay.
So here we go. We got a little bit longer of a clip here, so you'll have a lot to work off of.
Okay, okay.
So here we go. If you don't have to guess,
can I use that to double down on? I nailed that. Give me 102 points.
You know, there's a little bit of a barter here. We'll have to see what happens. All right.
Okay.
Next.
Here we go.
As E6 are making this push work out, but again, the spawners for Optic are so close. That top courtyard to the left of them. And they're in through the front line. Dashy!
Oh, I know it's Seaside, the quad piece on Fountain.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Wait, and you want to double down on
Absolutely.
Imagine because
Send
there
it
you
all.
go. 102 points.
As soon as he said Rec Room, I was like, the only person who called that Rec Room was Miles, and it was Seaside that he called it that. Everyone else called it Orange or Candy. Or
there you go.
Like
so you doubled down. You got it right. You clutched up when it mattered. So that gives you the number one spot on the leaderboard. You get 102 points for that point plus the 50 points. So you get 152 points overall for the game. Boom. Shift is on the board. Things you absolutely love to see. So
yeah.
With that said, we can head into our draft now, where we are drafting the God roster in Black Ops Cold War. Would you like the first pick or would you like the second and third pick?
I would like to take the second and third pick, only because I think I know who you're going to pick first, and that's not who I would pick first.
Oh, very interesting. Okay. All right, so I have the 101, and this is pretty straightforward. I'm going Simp. I mean, I'm building my team around Simp, and I'm very interested to see who you want to build your team around here.
I'm going Shotzzy.
Really?
Absolutely, I'm going Shotzzy.
Okay, I love it. I love it. So you got Shotzzy at the 102. Who you taking with the third?
I'm taking a BZ.
Okay, that's fair. I don't think you would have let me have both Tiny Terrors.
No chance. Not on your life.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Man, so now you get to a pretty interesting debate here about which player you want. Do I want to go, do I kind of want to go the phase route again here, seeing how dominant they've been lately? You want to pick one of the flyers here with the Cold War and see who's doing what?
Yeah, a lot of choices.
The thing is, I'm trying to decide. We both are looking at flexes here that we both need. So I don't want to leave you with the best flex in the CDL on the board. I'm going Celium then with the second overall pick. So I'm pairing the phase players, Simp and Celium. I still need an SMG and I need another AR. Who you going with? You're looking for two ARs.
Wait, you have to pick somebody else though. You have to pick twice.
Oh my word, yes I do. Of course.
I already know who my last two picks are.
So I mean, the question is, do I just want to phase up and go with 3 phase players after the MVP of the tournament, of course?
Are you gonna go Arcides?
I mean, I'm tempted. I'm very tempted, but I feel like that'd be just lame. And so I'm going Hydra.
No!
With the pick. Yes, sir, baby.
I was like, he's not going to pick Hydra. I'm going to be able to pull him for my third.
Yes.
Damn it.
Yes.
I had a hard feeling you were going to stick to the phase wagon. I was like, I can steal Hydra too.
Yeah, I wanted to make it happen. So I'm going Simp, Cell, and Hydra. I'm hopping on that bandwagon and rocking Hydra. Of course, he had an insane performance here the last basically month now since his debut, and it has been insane. I'm loving my team. Simp and Hydra on the SMGs. Celium.
Well, Hydra plays a flex though, so.
Well, I mean, not on this team.
Wait, so you're gonna have to pick? Oh, okay. So you're gonna take Hydra off of what he's been playing.
I mean,
he's been playing Krieg. He's been playing
I know
hard Krieg.
all of his best moments have been with the 74U though.
Have they?
I think they have. I mean, in the AM scene, a lot. He was rocking a lot more flex. I don't know, man. I could see it both ways. We'll see what happens. We'll see who's available here.
All right.
Yeah.
So all of the Optic fans are gonna be pissed because I think I'm picking anybody from Optic. I'm gonna go. I'm going main AR Clay.
Okay, you're rallying the squad.
I am rallying the squad, and then I have to go with the Gowwood himself. I'm pulling Insight number 4.
Oh my! Oh, I'm so sad. I wanted to go Insight. No.
What is your main?
Why not?
All right.
Yeah. Why not, dude? Come on.
He's running my flex for sure.
That's tough. I mean, Clay would have been a nice pick for me too. I mean, you're leaving Arcees for me here. I mean, at
I
this
am
point,
leaving Arcees. It's just like in my mind,
you're forcing my hand.
Clay does more as an IGL than Arcees. Like I'm taking Clay's leadership over the maybe slight hit you get in performance, which really, at least over the last tournament, really wasn't a slight hit.
Right, until Arcees just started frying. Yeah, my word. Insane. Well, all right, so I guess the question would be, do I take an Optic guy, you know?
Just to please the YouTube fans out there.
Right. Do you switch it up? Do you go like an Awakening or something like that?
I was thinking about
individual talent.
I was, on my last pick, I was kind of deciding between Insight and Awakening, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, Insight's just been
he's so good, dude.
Nasty.
He's been good for years, too.
And it would be wrong not to take a Toronto player in the top 8 right now, considering how good they've been. I mean, Cammy's a tempting pick here too. He has been nasty.
Yeah, he's good.
The amount of clutch plays he made in that tournament was crazy, but I feel like I'm gonna go with the low-hanging fruit here and go Arcees. I mean, I thought you'd for sure take him. So I'm going to go Arcees then and rock with the Simp, Hydra, Celium Arcees. I mean, again, at the end of the day, Celium, did you see Celium on Garrison Control rocking the 74U? This guy could play a main SMG. He's nasty.
Dude, Atlanta FaZe on Garrison anything is nasty, dude.
Yeah, it's scary.
They're so good at that map.
Yeah, it's actually insane. I did a little breakdown of Arcees and like some of the plays that he's been making on Garrison lately, and like it's just disgusting.
Yeah, they're literally like you just don't play Atlanta on Garrison anything. Like especially don't play him on the Control Garrison, dude.
No, don't do it.
Your ass gonna get smoked.
All right, read off your roster. What's your squad?
Okay, I've got Shotzi, Abizi, Clay, and Insight.
All right, that's a solid squad there.
I'm happy with it. I'm still a little upset that you took away Hydra because he was going to be my order of my flexes was going to be Hydra, Insight, and then Awakening.
So this poll will be going on Twitter 24 hours after the video goes live. So be on the lookout, everybody out there, for the poll to go vote on it. I'll be posting it out, of course, with Shift and I. And man, this has been the first episode of 1v1 Me Bro. We went toe-to-toe in the draft. We went through the Name That segment, the gauntlet for IHOLDSHIFT, and talked about ROSTERMANIA and everything else. Now, just like Hot Ones, we're rolling out the red carpet for our IHOLDSHIFT. Plug whatever you'd like. What's going on in your life? What do you want the people to know about?
I need to fix the slice on my driver. That's what's going on right now in my life.
Amen.
That's been the big hang up in my life. No, I mean you could just find me at IHOLDSHIFT just about on anything social if you want to follow along with me. So that's.
And let me know. You definitely do. If he's not gonna sell it, I'm selling it for him because you got to go follow IHOLDSHIFT. You haven't watched the podcast. He's now the only guest on the podcast and the channel.
That's wild. It's wild. So, I've got one shout out. I've actually got one.
Okay, there you go.
Support COD challengers.
Yes.
During the major finals, it's the worst timing in the world. I get it. Open a second tab. Watch the Challengers Cup that happens at the same time as the stage finals.
And the second CDL finals go live, if you at least go back and watch the semis, go back and watch the Challengers finals. It's nice because the VODs are easy accessible. Again, the COD Challengers YouTube page. And, Shift's streaming on Twitch and on YouTube?
Yeah, so we're doing Latin American stuff on my Twitch, and we do the Elite qualifiers on my Twitch. The community stream during the Elite days, everything on that has to be on YouTube. But yeah, definitely tune into all that stuff, but please open a second tab during the Open. We had some of the most banger matchups throughout the day, and, you look over, it's 50 people watching. I'm just like...
Oh, my word. Bro, it's just so dumb that the YouTube changes. You were on such a good roll there, but it sucks that the whole YouTube thing had to kind of pushed it to the side a little bit. But man, all right, guys, that has been 1v1 me, bro. Hopefully it was a pretty good experience. There might have been some rocky editing, and hopefully it'll look even more nice and chill and cool as we move along with it, and hopefully develop it. Hopefully this becomes a weekly thing where I can just vibe with people in the COD community and have a good time, and we'll see what happens. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you guys really enjoyed it, guys. You'll see you next time in the 1v1 me, bro episode. We're out.